Me and Triston just got out here in the swamp, do a little camping, do a little turkey hunting, and do a little fishing. We may try to make some beds right here. I'm not 100% sure, but he's wanting to cook a couple fish or fillets before it gets, or catch them before it gets dark to cook for dinner before we set up camp. So we're gonna run over here to the fishing hole and see if we can't pull a couple bass out of it real quick. I don't know if you can see that or not. You want to talk about how crazy these deer are? Look at that rub right there. It's hard to beat swamp fishing. I believe we can put that one on the grill. I ain't trying to wander off too much right now, but tomorrow I'm gonna get in some of the little deeper, better holes. This is a huge pond. Go see if I can find me another hole. Pretty one. Triston had a big old bass on about a 4-pounder. He jumped here and his jump there broke him off. Figured he's gonna jump again, try to shake that lure. grill. Go ahead and set them in the grill. I'm waiting on the coals to burn down a little bit before I put the fish on. But while we're doing that, we're gathering firewood. I haven't looked at the exact time, but I will in a minute. But I figure one of these logs is about 30 minutes of heat. So if we've got 10, 11 hours till daylight, we need like 22, 25 logs. So we get a stack up. It's supposed to be 40 degrees in the morning at daylight, so get a stack of logs. We'll build the fire up before we lay down, and then once an hour or something, wake up and throw a log on it, or a couple logs on it. Fixing to have a little bedtime snack, eh? This right here is all you need in your to-go bag. That stuff right there. It's good on everything, especially when you're cooking with oats. While Triston's over here chowing down on the fish, I figured I'd show you my sleeping quarters. That fish good? Mm-hmm. He's tearing it up. Let me show you. I've obviously coming in the swamp, got deep, and then I was out there fishing in the swamp, so I was like thigh deep. I basically dried my pants off except for my ankles where they were touching my shoes. I'm gonna dry them in a second before I lay down, but I stick sticks in the ground to dry my shoes and socks, and then whenever I get up to throw a log on the fire, I'll rotate them or something if I need to. Here's my sleeping quarters. I'll show you all this stuff in the daylight if I get a chance, but I got a wool blanket and an inflatable pillow that folds up about the size of a Coke can. I just put the open side toward the fire and fold the other over me and sleep like a baby. I got this fire too hot. Tell you what, I may not be wealthy, but I sure feel rich. Wonder what the poor folks are doing tonight. We're going to bed. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning, boys and girls. It's cold. I looked on when I looked, it said low was 40, and now they're saying it's 37, but it feels like it's about 35. It's all but icy. Feels nice though. gonna be a wee bit chilly just bailing off in the water. But hey, it's alright. They ought to be gobbling here in about 5 minutes. Or they could gobble now. One of the best mornings of turkey hunting I ever had. It was like 31 degrees. It was the second weekend of the season. We had a big cold front come through and it went to gobble an hour before daylight. That was a fun one. But anyway, we're gonna listen for a turkey and hoping something gobbles. If not, we're gonna be fishing in some cold water. They're probably too far to hear on the camera, I don't know. We walked away from camp about 50 yards just listening. And a pin 5. But they're all in the 500 yard range. I was waiting on one to gobble closer, but if they can start easing that way, I think. Triston separated from me a couple hundred yards and he's gonna start easing up that way. I know some of y'all probably ain't gonna believe this, but I can't make this up. Well, I could, but I ain't. I pinned 11 birds. I don't know if you can hear them on this camera or not. This is insane. They're everywhere. I'm going to this one. He's gobbling hard. But, wow. I got 2 hammering to my right, about 120 yards. But I think Triston's going to be on those. I'm waiting on him to send me his location. But there's one right here, about 80 yards. But don't think he's gobbling quite like a big as bird as them other ones. I'm going to hang out for just a second. Wait on Triston. It's pretty much gone quiet. They haven't gobbled now in about 10 minutes. I can hear a hen occasionally, about 100 yards to my right. I don't think this bird has flown down yet. I think I'd heard him, but I could be wrong. He's got to be within 70 yards of me. He didn't sound like a big bird though, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna sit tight for a minute unless something starts gobbling good, but he may not gobble on the ground. like to be out there in front of me about 100 more yards, but I'm not going to risk it. They ain't gobbled. I haven't heard a hen, so I don't know where they're at. This is a beautiful little area right here for them to come hang out, but somebody just shot one. I was wondering when I was going to hear some shooting. I'm going to sit right here and scratch and call just a little bit and just see if I can get anything to happen. I ain't going to give it long when I'm going fishing. Well, I'm sure they were coming this way anyway, but as soon as I started scratching, they broke out of the thick over here to my left and was just coming right to me. Never even called them. That was the two I thought was longbeards, just because when I glimpsed them, they were half strutting goblin. So that is that. I don't know which way I want to ease. I ain't easing far, and I'm gonna give it a little while and go fishing. I ain't deer hunting them. This was an awesome morning, though. It doesn't get any better than this. Just for the peacefulness and to hear that many birds. I'm sure a lot of them were jakes, but this cold morning just made them gobble. That was cool. If you've ever filmed, then you know these cold mornings are rough on it. I done swapped out. I'm on my third battery. Ain't no telling what else is low. I got two I ain't even turned on yet. And I filled up an SD card already. I'm pretty confident there's a longbeard within 250 yards of me, as many of them were goblin. But I'm gonna make a move and scratch and call and see if I can get anything to happen, because they just ain't goblin. I would imagine if them jakes are with hens, then they're all henned up. I hadn't heard a bird, hadn't moved far. Went about 200. But I wanted to show y'all this. This is one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen. It is gorgeous in here. That's beautiful, isn't it? Need a big old red-headed strutter to come through, blowed up, and make it a little bit better. Well, I just made it up here to camp, grabbed my fishing junk. I'm just taking the GoPro here, so got some batteries charging, but I'm gonna go catch up with Triston and put some fish on the stringer.
Got a big one.
Hold him up. We're eating good in a little while.
The grass.
Hold him up right now. Hold him up. What the right over stick, I didn't see shit. Okay.
I had one on the worm.
Boing, huh?
I said I had one on the worm.
Let's get through this crack.
That's not no eater. That's not. I ain't gonna keep you there.
Put him on the stringer, I'll eat him.
I threw it in that sunlight. Not right here.
Yeah, I got line messed up again.
Oh, it's fine. He's following it. Really?
It's a little one, ain't it?
This way.
Well, we caught quite a few fish in a short amount of time. That water is cold. I came back up here and stoked the fire up and steaming my britches with me in them. I'm gonna give my GoPro batteries and stuff about 10 more minutes to charge, and I'm gonna do me a loop, see if I can't get on a goblin bird. Figure while I'm waiting this 10 minutes, I'll kind of show you what I brought in here real quick, in case any of y'all ever want to do something like this and ain't sure exactly what to bring. A lot of people overdo it and you don't need much. I got my little blow up pillow. Oh, just it folds up about the size of a Coke can and sticks in a little pocket and just blow it up. And that wool blanket, that's a big one though. It's like 66 by 90 inches, something like that. So I can get in that one, and then I sleep with it with the open side toward the fire. So like last night when it would start getting cold, I would just like be on my side and have my elbow up or something and let that warm air get up inside that blanket and keeps you nice and cozy. But I brought my tackle bag with a few odds and ends in it outside of fishing stuff, and then I had to bring my turkey vest and all my camera stuff. Camera stuff's the hassle, having to bring all this stuff. But all Tristan brought was a blanket and his hunting and fishing stuff. But I got the little cutting board. I brought 7 waters. I think Tristan brought 4, and the life straws. So like while we're here at camp, we'll walk over here and drink water, and it's good, cool spring swamp water. But Tristan brought an extra change of shoes, or actually he didn't. He brought his waders, so he's fishing in his waders, and he's got his change of shoes up here. But I didn't bring any change of clothes. I just got my turkey vest and my tackle bag and my fishing pole, and that's it. I always bring string, so if I need to make a clothesline or I need to tie, like if I want to dry my clothes fast, I'd stretch a string across basically over the fire and then hang them a couple feet over the fire and build it up a little bit, and within 5 minutes all my clothes are dry. That's what I have stuff like that for. And sometimes I even hang a grill over the fire and walk away and let it slow cook some fish or turkey or whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna do a loop, see if I can't find a bird, and Tristan's gonna keep fishing. But we already got a mess of fish. He caught a couple real nice bass. I had 4 on my stringer, so we ain't going hungry. 4 on there, right?
No, because there's some brim in the bass's mouth and all that.
I know, I'm saying there's 4 bass on the stringer.
Yeah.
Your limit is 5. I was just making sure your stringer didn't have 6. I was swapping over batteries here, and Tristan just walked up. He fell in a hole neck deep, so he's gonna dry it a little bit and let his waders dry. And I guess go ahead and cook some of these fish up. Pretty good mess of fish. We're gonna eat good. That ain't including my stringer. Walk back up here to camp. This boy's over here chowing down on some bass. Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Fixing to cook me up, so. That's the stuff right there. Hold it, close it up. Don't get in the dirt. Flip it, or I gotta season another two. Flip it fast. Yeah, not like that. Alright, you're gonna have to open it back up because you're a ding dong. When you flip it, just do like that and it don't move.
I'm not a ding dong.
So hot. Oh, my eye.
Huh?
I threw a piece of my eye. Worked out well.
Hmm?
So that worked out well.
Well, it was a piece that already dropped, so it didn't matter.
Well, it's like 5 o'clock, so I sat down a little early, but we went and fished all through the middle of the day, and I'm about tired, and I didn't feel like walking far, so I just came up out of the swamp on this hill, camped right over there about 100 yards. I'm just gonna sit here and like to roost one. But if one comes walking by and gives me some good footage, I might eat him for dinner, so we'll see how it goes. I haven't seen anything except for deer and squirrels, but I just heard two fly up out here in this flue about 150 yards, and there was definitely one gobbling there this morning. He didn't start gobbling until late though. Pretty sure I heard a hen cackle to my right, but it kind of echoed. I don't know. Anyway, they're probably gonna be back in the general area they were this morning. Well, Tristan roosted 3 of them, right? 3?
Probably more than that.
Said probably more than that, but at least 3. I couldn't hear them from where I was. Anyway, we just got our wood pile stacked up here. There's a little extra to go in there before we go to sleep. It's not supposed to be as cold tonight, but anyway, I'm wearing my jacket, and then I got my stakes set up to dry my shoes and my socks. So we're on the second round of cooking, so we'll finish eating here in a minute and call it a night. Stoke this fire up. It's like a couple minutes after 9, but we'll see y'all in the morning. Good morning. It was a chilly walk across that swamp this morning. I came across from where we were fishing. Triston went up to where he roosted them 3. It's still a little early, but I've heard one gobble 3 times about 500 yards to my right. I'm gonna give it just a minute because I know there was a couple that gobbled late, roosted in this horseshoe slough right here yesterday, so I'm gonna give it a minute before I take off. 500 yards across that swamp ain't gonna be a quick trip anyway. Hopefully one of these gobble. Across the swamp to that bird that was gobbling, and he was roosted right on the edge of this big old high ridge. I figured he would come to this little clearing in the middle of it, so I came up here on the middle, and he pitched down about 80 yards in the slough and skirted me to my left. I swung around the tree, but he got to about 45, 50. I could hear him spitting and drumming. But he hadn't gobbled in a minute. I'm going to give him about 5 more minutes. And I'm going to go get off the edge of this ridge in the direction he was going if he doesn't show up. He gobbled when the light yelped, so I thought he may come on out here, but there was at least 2 of the turkeys, so it may be a gobbler and a hen. I don't know. Pointed away from him, so I don't know if you heard that. I made a move, got down there in the slough, and he ain't gobbled about 10 minutes. I was just waiting on him, and they just came out the other side of the slough up here about 80, 90 yards. I think they're coming this way. I'm gonna ease to the other edge real quick. I eased up about 50 yards. I had plenty of cover, and as I was about to sit down, I could hear a hen just light up at like 30 yards. But it almost sounded like they kind of hit the edge here and went away from me. But I'm not 100%. I'm gonna sit tight a minute. I wish they'd gobble. They just ain't gobbling good. I don't think they're coming this way. It's been 10 minutes and I haven't seen or heard anything. So they must have went away from me. I'm about handicapped without my hawk call. I broke the reed out of it. I put a new reed in it. That's just what they were gobbling. It's been about 20 minutes now since they gobbled. And it's boring. They won't gobble at nothing, so I'm gonna start slipping back towards camp. I heard one as far as I could hear, kind of back towards the camp. And he gobbled just a minute ago, so. Yeah, I'm used that way, but it ain't no fun hunting birds that ain't gobbling to me. Well, I just got back to camp. That was a nothing. I think I heard one faint gobble once I got all the way up there to where I thought I was in front of him, but I wasn't even sure. And I sat there for like 10 minutes and nothing. Had a hen and a little Jake walk by. But, huh? No, they didn't gobble good at all, did they? Well, what happened with you this morning? Speak up.
They flew down late, but while I was sitting by the tree, the one that the gobbler hen that I saw yesterday.
How many did you have there?
That's where I was sitting, and I had 4 turkeys there whenever they flew down. But the gobbler and hen that I thought was going to roost there, they didn't roost there. And then...
Was he gobbling?
No, he didn't gobble, but I was sitting there, and I had 3 jakes fly down like 30 yards from me, and then they went off, and then I saw a big red head like coming to like around the edge, and I called him in, and he got to like 30 yards, and I saw and he went to go into strut, and then he got closer, and he came out of strut, and his beard popped out, and it was only like that big, and I didn't shoot him.
And so the big one, was he the one that was gobbling?
Mm-hmm.
And then you didn't ever see a big one or hear another turkey? All you heard was one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened on the point of that slough where I told you I was going to, and I heard one, I think he's about 500 yards. So I took off in there to him and got there about the time he was going to fly down. He's gobbling pretty decent up a tree. And got there about to fly down. I'm not too sure it wasn't one of them super jakes too, the way he was acting though. But I eased up there, he gobbled one time, and I was like, well, I'm close as I can get here. He's like 75 yards and roosted in a big oak tree. And so I just sat down, pretty sure he wasn't gonna come right to where I was, but they pitched down. I saw 2 turkeys pitch down, and they were kind of coming my way, and there was a little gap he could have came out of. So I scratched and light called, and "Dah!" Well, and there he is coming. And like 10, 12 minutes go by, and he gobbled, and he had already passed my opening. He was way hard to my left. So jumped up and went all the way around in the slough, and got where I thought I was in front of him. And he squatted down next to a thick cabbage tree, and I thought I heard leaves a couple times, and then I heard like 25 yards from me, behind some cabbage. Thick cabbage. And that was the last time they gobbled. They never saw me or nothing. I moved over just a little bit where I could kind of see around, and I think they had that little opening they were in. It kind of came up there and turned and went up side of a slough, and I think they just went away from me right there. And then I could hear one gobbling behind me, so I only gave him about 10 minutes to gobble again. He didn't, and I took off to that one, and he was just walking and gobbling. I went like, once I got close to him, I still went another 500-600 yards and lost track of him, but it was rough. They wasn't gobbling good at all. And I ain't too sure they wasn't all jakes or something. Like, they definitely wasn't gobbling hard. The one I was on first sounded good, but I think there was another one with him. Like, it might have been a gobbler and a jake or something, because One time you get a good deep, and then one time it was that rattle, you know, like a young one.
I knew the jakes were there because every time my bird would gobble, the other jakes would like do the weird putt they do or whatever. They did that in the tree.
Did he gobble good?
Yeah. He gobbled at every crow or owl. And then the jakes, like he was roosted way over here by himself, and the jakes were all three right here. And then these all three flew down in a row, like maybe not even 30 yards from me. And they ended up walking off, and then he came around the edge, and I saw his head here, and I caught him all the way into like 30, 25. And I saw his beard, and I didn't shoot him.
Yeah, we might need to go somewhere else if ain't no longbirds left in here. If they're here, they sure ain't gobbling. The first one I went to this morning could have definitely been a mature gobbler, but he didn't act like it. He acted like a scared jake. But the last one, I would assume, I saw a jake and a hen, and it could have very well been him that I got in front of, just quit gobbling and came right down the edge of the slough. Beard about like that. I didn't get no footage of it. I couldn't. The ground was real hard where I was, and I couldn't get the monopod in. By the time I got done playing that, they were like 10 yards. So.
Yeah, the jakes I saw were like barely even that. Like it was just a little something sticking out.
There's a deer. Pretty sure it's a buck. I went to wash my hands and it was laying on a little hill out in the water. It's right there blowing now. I walked right up on it. Took off and it didn't know what it was. I just scared the crap out of it. But anyway, some exciting news while I was doing that. Old buddy of mine happened to stumble into camp here. That was a shot I heard earlier. And he killed a bird, so he left me the fan to take home. I'm gonna dry the fan for him, and look what else he left. He left me some turkey breast, so I'm fixing to cook some turkey breast. Triston said he's hungry. It's gonna be good, ain't it?
Yep. I said, oh. Made a little more than that. These ones are perfect.
Well, that's gonna be a wrap on this one. I'll show y'all how we packed in here. And I carried my fishing pole, carried the shotgun. Triston, he didn't bring a bag. All he brought was a fanny pouch and a turkey vest. So we'll carry the guns. I'll carry this big camera, but other than that, everything is packed up. We cleaned our area up. One hand wipe I missed. Let that burn. But that's it. Till next time. It's all cleaned and we're fixing to head out of here. think I ate a little too much turkey.
Me too.
It'll be a long trip with a full belly. Drop the piece. Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed it. We had a good time. This is my paradise out here. I love it. No.
That's the one who had to get begged to come out here.
Huh?
I said, Sar's the one who had to get begged to come out here.
What?
I had to beg you to camp.
Yeah, right. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.